And cue. That was a guest. What a legend, an icon. We are back from our interview with Countess Lauren de Lesseps. And
We found her.
we found her. We finally found her. Call off the
And now
security
we're going to
search.
bring it down a notch.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited. We are talking about season 11, the currently airing season of Vanderpump Rules. We've got one part of the reunion left. Or as I like to call this episode, how did things go so wrong? How did they mess up so
How did we
bad?
get here?
How did I get here? Why did I do it? Is what I hope the Alex Baskin, the producer, is singing to himself every night.
They had it coming. They had it coming.
So following the reveal that Tom Sandoval was cheating on his girlfriend of 10 years and castmate Ariana with another castmate, Rachel, including while Ariana was at her grandma's funeral and having to put down her dog, they followed up that season with one of the most universally panned and despised seasons of reality TV ever, after creating a global phenomenon and like more viewers than ever. They absolutely fumbled the bag in front of all of them and pissed off everyone.
Yeah, it was like watching the series finale of Seinfeld. No laughs.
Yeah. It was a clip show. A clip show.
It was a clip show.
It was.
Also, it was just like I think part of the problem is that they started filming 3 months after the reunion, after the Scandival. So like the dust had not settled.
Yeah.
It was just a mess. But not in the mess, not in the way that we are accustomed with these people.
Yeah. And to the I'm in opposition to the thousands of people screaming at me on the internet, on my TikTok, and that I really blame production for all of their missteps. Number one, like shooting, 2.5 months after Ariana and Tom had broken up and everyone had become huge stars.
Yeah.
Also wasn't time for Rachel to come out of the mental institution. Like she'd just gotten out and then was negotiating her contract and was like, I deserve more money. And they were like, no, get out.
Bye. Yeah, that was such a huge mistake because obviously she's the only person like everyone's talking about because nothing else is actually happening.
Also,
she's
because
not even on the show.
Yeah, it's like they need a witch, you know? They always need like someone to like for everyone to go after, and then once you go after that person, then they can be redeemed. People start feeling sorry for them.
Yeah,
but instead
we don't have a witch. We don't have a witch. We have Lisa Vanderpump, who has now turned into her husband Ken and is haunting everybody because she is not making any sense on the show, which I do appreciate. We'll get into later. They do kind of bring it up because they have to bring people from the past. They have to bring back Jax and Brittany to show up to just get through some of these scenes.
It was like a production
for the Valley, also to promote that, but it was
it was like a production of A Christmas Carol where it was all these bringing back the ghosts of future and ghosts of Christmas past. Like, it was haunting and morose.
Yeah, and I mean, Lisa is giving me a little bit like, that she might have polio or something's up.
Some kind of wasting disease, rickets. Yeah. I mean, she still looks great, but she's not all there like she used to be.
She needs crutches is what I'll say.
Yeah, Tiny Tim style. Yeah. I really think
that's a reference. That's a current reference for you girlies. That's a Dickens reference.
Also, they allegedly cut the season 10 scene of Tom Sandoval admitting to Rachel that the video that Ariana found on his phone of her touching herself, and that's how Ariana found out that he was cheating. Rachel, that was recorded non-consensually, and Rachel addressed that on camera. They cut it out to protect him, presumably, and then it couldn't be addressed. And now Rachel is suing both him and Ariana for revenge porn. none of it is on camera, and none of it can be because of legal reasons.
And
Huge mistake.
this is the other shit that I really hate is like, I can't talk about it because of legal reasons. I can't talk about it because of legal reasons. Like, it's so fucking annoying. They don't even ask the question. Like, it's like, I can't with all these Bravo people. Bravo does this all the time because everyone's getting sued up the ass. Andy's getting sued more than anybody, and he's still yapping away. So what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, he did a whole interview about, like, the allegations. I mean, it was, like, very glossing things over, but he did address them all. Like, no real solutions. But, you know, being like, it's really frustrating.
No real solutions.
This is, like, I think, I'm just gonna get into it now, and then we'll go through the season, because I'm trying to put off having to go through the season. But this is, like, a real problem I feel like is happening throughout Bravo shows, where they are, like, someone does a big press scandal that, like, draws in ratings, viewers, gets the world's attention, makes it culturally relevant.
The show had never been bigger. Yeah, it had never been bigger. I mean, we've been watching the show since day one. We're day oneers. And we had
It's so funny how that's like a brag now.
Lauren and I we had to tell all of, like, the people who don't read the New York Post, which also includes Lauren, what the fuck was going on, because they didn't know what Scandival was or why it was such a big deal. We had to explain it to everyone. It's like literally the biggest story forever, and they couldn't capitalize on it.
And I think part of it, a big part of the reason is because of Bravo. This is not working, and hopefully a failure this large will bring it to their attention. I think they lost 1/3 of their viewers after 3 episodes in, and they never got them back. This happened to Erica, where everyone protected her on camera because they didn't want her to leave the show.
Yeah,
she's not
but
leave the show. She needs it for money.
The widows and the orphans.
Exactly, and they still have not gotten their justice. Like, they've still never really ripped into her.
Yeah, does she have those earrings still? I don't know.
She does. She still has the earrings. She's been sued for them so many times. No, I do think she had to give them back, actually. I take it back.
Yeah.
But then Jen Shaw, like, you know, they spent a whole season completely protecting her, not even, like, asking her about anything, just kind of, you know, letting her continue to abuse them as they had for 3 seasons.
Right.
Because it's like, well, we don't want her to leave the show. And it's like, they did the same thing with Sandoval this season, where they actually, it's been documented, they bragged to the press that they sat down the cast a few episodes in because they realized the show wasn't working. Their plan for the show wasn't working. And they said, Vanderpump Rules is a show about friends that hang out, be friends, and hang out, or we will end the show. Which caused a bizarre show where the main storyline was, will Sheena forgive Tom Sandoval? It's like, I don't even really know they were friends. Like, there were seasons she hated him.
The season of, and you know, this is a very controversial take, but this is why Lauren and I are, like, best friends. We think Sheena is the show. Actually, there is no Vanderpump without, like, Sheena, and she was the only one this whole season who did anything. And I don't care if everyone thinks it's really lame that she's saying that she has PTSD and everything. At least she's doing something and giving moments and, like,
in athletics, I believe there's a certain type of player who will sacrifice their body for the ball.
Yeah, look at Lauren's shirt. It says varsity, so she knows what she's talking about here.
My dad played basketball at MIT. Very good team. Not really. They were nerds. But like she's, you know, like, I think what they wanted to do was, like, okay, she and Lala can, like, bond both groups together, and it was executed very poorly. But I know there's a lot of people who say, I wanted them to be, and I do think it would have been a better season if the girls could have done what they wanted and all just been horrible to Sandoval the whole time.
Right.
That would have been fun, and people would have felt sorry for them. But, like, I don't watch, like, people are like, they're such bad friends for going along with production. I don't watch the show to see good friendships. I don't believe they are friends. Like, I think everything is transactional on reality TV. I know there's a lot of people who disagree. They said they would love to see a show about just Ariana and Katie. They would have liked that whole season to be Ariana's gigs and, like, Katie get something about her, and no Sandoval, Schwartz, Lala Sheen at all. You are very different than me.
Yeah, that is a big mistake. Like, what are we going to, this show's going to be, there's something about her, and it's that she's very boring.
I mean, it's like, I'm happy for her. I would have liked to see a little more of her success.
I'm very happy for Ariana's success. Like, she really capitalized on Scandival.
Yes.
But everyone did. I mean, Lala with her sweatshirts to say, like, send it to Daryl. Sheena, I think she got new lashes. She got highlights. You know, she had enough money for the highlights. Zoloft. Highlights. I mean, that's a glow up. You know, it's not Dancing with the Stars. Is it? No. Is it being cast as a star on Chicago on Broadway? No. Is it a Duracell commercial? No. Is it a sweatshirt?
But it is something we need to take every day so our brains don't break. Or me, at least. I'm on Zoloft.
And Sheena shouldn't be given more than just, you know, highlights and eyelashes. Otherwise, she can't perform the way we need her to.
Right. We need her in a state of desperation. And really, it's like,
we love her.
You want to see everyone be good friends to Ariana. When have they ever been good friends to Ariana? Look, I am a Ariana fan from day one, and that's why I've wanted her to get off the show for a long time. For her mental health, I love that now she can, like, instead of like having to become a theater teacher in Des Moines, she can actually be like a B-list star. I will always like support her in her career, but she is not built for reality TV. She does she's a normal person. It hurts her mental health.
She's like a normal person, and none of the other people are
freaks. I want to watch my freaks get freaky.
Freaks come out at night on Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
And that should be Vanderpump Rules' real slogan.
Number one rule: the freaks come out at night.
Freaks come out at night.
7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so we've said a lot of our piece on this. Let's get into the
folks. Oh,
I mean, I wish that could be the whole thing, but
that's all, folks.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Okay, Porky Pig.
That's all, folks.
That was
that's more like a gremlin. Okay, so let's break down.
Freaks that come out at night too.
Exactly. Like I want, and you know what? And Sandoval and Schwartz both went full gremlin this season.
Did, yeah.
And honestly, I think it was good TV. I mean, everybody thinks that they got such a good edit. No.
They got the worst edit. I don't know why anyone thinks that Tom Sandoval's on a redemption tour. He looks so bad this season.
Like the gnarled ways his face, you know, like they capture him laughing like a witch.
I texted you, I was like, okay, because I hadn't been watching the show and I knew we were covering it, so I was watching it this past week, and I was like, he's giving, more crazy eyes than, Ramona Singer and, you know, Housewives. He's like,
yes.
Why isn't Rachel calling me, Billy?
He's acting with such intensity. It reminds me of Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls.
Ooh.
Where it's pure camp, and it's the way she thought that she would get an Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
He thought that
America would love him.
They would love him. They would fall in love with how sorry he is and how much he needs to be forgiven. And they would listen to him when he said, Sheena is the same as me because she hooked up with Eddie Kibrian.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, baby, you didn't get the Tom Hanks edit. You got the Chet Hanks edit.
Yes. Although, Chet Hanks, he's getting a good edit in the press right now. Yeah.
I know. You know what? Get him on Vanderpump Rules. He's not doing anything. He's just texting his dad.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'd be...
I would
TV.
love to.
I mean, he could replace Lala as the person who does AAVE.
No, they could be in it. They should date. I ship them.
Yeah, that's a power couple.
That's a power couple.
People that everyone is mad at right there.
Yes. Chad Hanks, Lala Kent.
Yes.
Unstoppable duo. Can you imagine the music they would make together?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine Lala at the Thanksgiving with the Hankses?
With Rita?
What would Lala talk with Rita Wilson about?
Frida said the wrong thing. If she brought up Randall, she would get popped.
I know. Yeah, she's
and Tom Hanks is like, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Like he did on that text with Chad.
Yeah.
Wow.
You put Apollo 13 on right now, you're going to get popped. It's my favorite. Okay, the show.
I wish. The show. Okay, so we've got Sandoval and Ariana, who are clearly our stars, and they are mostly the way that the show, and also the way that they have figured out.
They're in fight or flight mode, both of them, this whole season.
Right. I mean, because they haven't processed it. This happened. They become two of the most famous people in the world months ago. Like, she became Princess Diana, and he became, like, Miranda Sings, like,
And
2 months ago.
he became Queen Elizabeth. He got the Queen Elizabeth edit. I won't give her a royal funeral. Okay,
I love that movie. I love the Queen.
Mm.
So they're still in the same house because Sandoval is, like, really being such a doink and, like,
and doesn't want to
refusing
sell
to
the
move
house.
out, won't sell it.
Yeah, and he's saying that he can afford to just buy her out, but, like, Ariana knows there's no way that he can afford to do that, so she's like, no, fuck this. We need to just sell this house. So we just see, like, two broken people hanging out. Well, they're not hanging out in the house together. I mean, it's
a big house,
and
luckily.
eat chicken skewers. Yeah, but, like, Ariana's, she's starring on Broadway, but still having to eat chicken skewers in her bedroom.
In her room, yeah.
Dark.
Yeah, it's, I mean, to imagine everything that was going on for her this season, it's like, I just would be, I feel like she shouldn't come back. Like, I don't know, it's like, fuck you guys for doing this to me. Like,
I don't think any of them should come back.
Yeah, you said that you were like, why didn't production get her an Airbnb? Like, I think that she maybe would have been down to, like, have some fights on camera if she didn't have to live with this fucking asshole every day who's, like, trying to bankrupt her. Like,
yeah, and eat chicken skewers in her bedroom, which,
that one really stuck with you.
That really, because I can imagine the smell. You eat M&Ms, like, it's not like chips, but, like, skewers, it's dark.
No halal.
She's starring on Broadway. Get Anne up there.
Yeah,
she'll clean it up.
Anne is Tom Sandoval's assistant, and she is kind of the surrogate, the go-between for them. And the producers were like, okay, that's a way.
The character actor.
Yes, she gives
a
character
texture to the scene.
She was very well cast.
Brings levity.
Yes, so she's the way that they kind of are able to interact in scenes is Tom Sandoval is like, hey, I want to have a party for my birthday and have like people over at the house. So tell Ariana that's happening. And Anne's like, so he wants to have a party, and Ariana's like, no, he can't have a party in the house. He never like cleans it up.
He never cleans it up.
And then
Anne like cleaning it up.
Yes, and Sandoval like does it anyway, and Anne has to clean it up. And yeah, it's just like foul.
Oh, thanks, Anne.
Thanks, Anne. Finally, Sandoval, Ariana asks Anne for a referral for an assistant.
They're close. They're friendly.
They're still close, I think. And I think Anne is working at something about her, and she was really close with both of them. I've listened to her on podcasts a little, but this was like an unhealthy situation for her. So we have kind of a TV dramatic reenactment, which again, for media literacy, for people who are going so apeshit at cast members over this season, a lot of things that happen on the show, most things in public, especially where they're getting sound, are reenactments or dramatizations. Like, so just remember that when you're telling Summer Moon to go kill herself. So you freaks who come out at night. Anyway, so she really was leaving for mental health issues, but the way that they decided to have it play out on the show was that Ariana asks Anne for a referral for an assistant because she's so busy, which I think was real. And then Anne wants to put her name in the hat because she would much rather like talk with producers.
Than, and like Ariana's actually doing interesting things,
Yes, and she'd be able to have connections and stuff. And also because like Tom Sandoval is a goblin man.
Yeah.
Like just don't want to be around him.
It must be so exhausting to like have to go to his like shows and listen to him try to sing. What if like Tom Sandoval and the Countess like did a tour?
Oh yeah, she did say she'd F him.
She said she'd
during
fuck
the tour.
him.
This was true.
She did. She was like, she didn't know who Tom Schwartz was, but she knew Sandoval, and she said she would definitely fuck him.
Like, I know everybody hates him, but
I like the bad boys.
Yes,
I like the bad boys. They could smoke cigarettes together.
God love her. Anyway, so then Tom finds out
Sandoval,
and then he dumps Anne, fires her for TV. Really, she left. And then Ariana hires her for real at Something About Her. And she has a successful podcast now.
Yay.
So it's a happy ending for Anne. So then also Sandoval accidentally locks the dog in Ariana's room.
Chicken skewers.
The dog eats the chicken skewers, and Ariana has to give him a $4,000 endoscopy.
$6,000.
$6,000. Oh
$6,000.
That's more than a human endoscopy.
And what does she call Sandoval? She calls him the almost dog murderer.
Yeah, so she's been avoiding him and like not wanting to shoot with him, not wanting to shoot with anyone who's like friends with him, and having like nice conversational scenes with him so that he can't make her look bad.
Yeah.
And finally they do have to shoot together at Lala's water party, and Ariana.
Okay, wait. Quick sidebar.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. This is, and I texted you. Well, we text all the time, but this was when I knew, like, it's really done. The show's really bad. This show's really over. It's like when you're in a relationship with somebody for so long and you're so like blinded by the signs at that point, and then something happens and it seems so innocuous and you're like, oh my God, I need out of this.
Yeah.
The water tasting, when the water sommelier, like, listen, I'm happy that James isn't drinking and that Lala's not drinking and Schwartz is pretending to be sober curious, which we can talk about later. But hiring a water sommelier who's telling them, like, this is the only bottle that you can have of this type of water in all of the US, it's like, I don't want to see that. Like, Valerie Cherish, I don't need to see that.
I don't want to see that. Yeah, I don't care how colorful and German he is. Yeah. I do not want to see him say, the Playboy Bunny says this one tastes like cum. I'm like, I
don't need to see a water sommelier in James's backyard with, like, jets flying overhead with his fake grass. Yeah,
We're getting into the shenanigans type of reality TV we had in season 9. Yeah,
it's weird. Shenanigans. Like, I would water tasting. Like, this is really what it's come to.
Well, Ariana felt the same way. She was infuriated, and she finally yelled at Tom Sandoval, said he was a dog murderer.
Almost dog murderer.
And I think that was the one episode that I know that there's a lot of hate for her on Facebook for like misogynist, like, ladies named Ruth in their 50s. But I think this was the one episode where people were like, wow, she's kind of mean to him. But I don't know. I still am not buying it. Like, I can't believe she hasn't popped off on him sooner. Is she a little self-righteous? She's always been self-righteous. It's kind of what I like about her. But like, I just can't believe that it's the kind of restraint she has toward him and the dignity that I don't want on reality TV. That's what I don't want.
And then everyone before that is like, okay, so like they're done tasting water, so they go inside to eat pizza that I'm pretty sure is from like Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Fine. Actually, Domino's. That sounds really good.
I love Little Caesars and Domino's.
Who was it? Lala or Sheena? Somebody wanted ranch, and the delivery guy didn't bring ranch, and Sandoval was like, I will rescue you. I will be Sandoval to the rescue. And he runs outside to try to go get some ranch, and everyone's like, wow, he's like really doing the most. Like, he's really trying. He's like trying so hard right now. They never got the ranch, but then,
Yeah.
Then that's
for him. It's the performance of trying.
Yeah, and then that's when Ariana's like, "Oh, okay, you want to talk about ranch? Let me tell you this story about how he almost killed my dog." And then he walks in that moment.
Yeah,
he's like, "She's talking about me." Yeah,
and then for some reason, everyone's mad at, especially like Brock is mad at Ariana for like, yelling at this guy who's like trying to take her house for like the first time she's even like talked to him, and it's 2.5 months after she made a fool out of him on TV. And it's like, Brock, it's not like she did something, it's not like she did something innocuous, Brock, like slap her wife and leave her kids. Like, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into him later. So anyway, so after that, it's like pretty, whatever between them. They continue to film together and ignore each other until the last episode, where Tom tries to apologize on camera. Ariana dips out, won't let him. We'll get more into the ending later, because I just think it was maybe the only way forward for the show if they continue in that direction.
And yes, I am in the laying down position again. It is my bedtime.
And Michelle will take a 3-minute nap, and then we'll be back from the break. Follow us on Instagram, Bravo_breakdowns, and TikTok. Okay.
Sheena.
Sheena. All right, Michelle,
Beverly
you
Hills.
awake?
She.
Kevin Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. Yeah, don't say his name 3 times or he'll appear. Okay, so Michelle is awake, and we are getting back into it. We're going to talk about Tom Schwartz and Joe. So last season, season 10,
Joe Mama.
if you remember, okay, if you remember, Tom Schwartz pretended to like Raquel, but we all knew, any of the real fans knew he had a secret live-in girlfriend the whole time.
She wasn't a big enough alcoholic for this boy.
Yeah. And so he kept pretending to like Raquel, even though Katie was furious and keeping Joe off camera and a secret to cover up the affair that Tom Sandoval was having with Raquel. And he let, Raquel and Tom bang at his house. And like he and Joe went on couples trips with them. They were all like best dirty dog secret lover friends.
And Anne, Joe is not a cast member. She is what we were discussing earlier, a character.
Yes, she is a character actress, I would say, in the vein of...
Oh, what's her up from Arrested Development? Judy Greer.
She's a Judy Greer. Yes, dead ass. Yes. Schwartz and Sandy's, also the restaurant they opened last season, is now apparently, according to them, a rabid mass of angry fans constantly screaming, so they refuse to shoot there. Michelle, is it boring for me to talk again about like what the hell is actually going on with Schwartz and Sandy's? Because from all of the videos, pictures when I went, it was packed. Like, why aren't they shooting there? Is it because Greg's just a Scientologist?
Greg doesn't want them to shoot there, Lauren. So just like, you keep talking about it. Do you want to get popped?
I think it's because Greg's a Scientologist and there's Scientologist protests in front of his store, and his wife punched one of them in the face. I think it's because of Greg's Scientology shit is somehow worse than Sandoval even.
You know what?
That's
I think it's time we start respecting other people's religions.
Okay, you're scared that the Scientologists are gonna come after you. You're scared they're gonna Shelley Miscavige me, but you know what? Come for me. Throw me in the brig. I don't care.
I don't know. I mean, the Swifties, Scientologists, all the S's.
Yeah, we're activating a lot of S's tonight.
Oh, Lindsay Hubbard. She's not an S, but she gets activated. Sandwiches.
She does get activated.
Sandwiches.
Anyway, so finally halfway through the season, we do get Joe, the girlfriend in question, as a cast member.
She's like, I'm an alien. I'm a dinosaur.
She is like, I'm trying to think of like the type of girl she is. Like the girl with the annoying girl in high school who's like maybe in theater, but like she doesn't get like the big parts.
You?
She's like, her whole personality is theater.
Wait, are you talking about you?
I got the big parts.
Oh, I didn't.
And I had severe social anxiety, so I wasn't annoying. I was just quietly having seizures.
Oh, that's so polite, though. If you're gonna have a seizure, shut up. Keep it quiet. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Yep. Just silently
there
foaming
she is in the
mouth.
corner, having a seizure. She's so sweet about it, and then she comes out of it, and she's like, "What happened? What I missed?
What happened?
What I missed?" There's Lauren just. Was that me? A whole lot of shaking going on.
Pardon me. God bless me. So she's also a hairdresser, which is confounding because I've never seen like someone's hair look like this in a competitive people's hair looks like
Britney
her hair
Spears.
In Survivor.
It's giving Britney Spears.
2000s, or even now. Britney Spears. Yeah,
I'm the hashtag. I am a little bit concerned about her.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Joe too, to be honest. So especially on camera. So Joe is an actor, a character actor who has to do a lot of hat and hair work in her
and jewelry, like eccentric jewelry.
Yes, she's like tucked into rings a lot, and also Joe wears Schwartz hat on camera to her first cast party where like Sheena is in full glam, dressed to the nines, like
highlights, like I mentioned, new lashes.
All the girls they've all got their press-ons, and Joe comes in and like jeans and a cap.
They're all
and
sober. They look so good. Everybody.
And she's like half in the bag,
they
and
lambast
they just
her.
Eat her alive. Sheena laughs at her. She keeps trying to steal the cap, and Joe's like, "No, I want my cap. I want my hat." Joe starts crying, and then they all like
I can't
laugh
drink
at her.
without my cap. I can't
So
drink without my cap.
are you doing a My Girl? He
I
can't see
will
without his
not
glasses.
function without. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's her. Yeah. Cannot function
Bring
without
out the
cap. Need it on
bees.
head.
Yeah,
So then,
but she really does the robot a lot. I
yeah.
can't do that.
So what Joe is saying and what Schwartz is saying is not completely lining up. You can tell he coached her to be like, hey, like, let's just, everyone knows we hooked up. We'll admit we hooked up, but like, let's just downplay it a little, because you're cool. You're a cool girl. You don't need to do all that.
But it's Schwartz trying to give notes on how to perform, so it doesn't go well.
It does not go great. And also, Joe is such a newbie that she can't hold it all in. She loves this man
green,
so
baby.
much.
She's green, and it shows.
She is like, oh, like, well, I guess I've got to hang out with these people because to be closer to the man I love and care about so much.
So I'll do normal stuff like invite Lala to a hot dog stand.
Yeah, that was rough stuff. To be like, yeah, I want one of my first scenes on camera with Lala Kent to be eating a hot dog. Like,
they go to a literal hot dog stand that's shaped like a dick, like it's shaped like a hot dog. And
I just want to get a big chili dog to eat on camera. Giant beer. This is a good choice.
And even though like Joe lives with Schwartz half the time at this point, or it's still kind of confusing. Joe says in her confessional, like, if I want to get closer to Schwartz, the way to do that is to get closer to Lala. So that's why I'm taking her to eat hot dogs. It's like, what? Ugh. How did you get from there?
I mean, I think she really thought that, like, if she goes on the show, even though he said he liked her because she wasn't on the show, then he'll date her in real life if she's a cast member. Did not work out. Schwartz is constantly saying on camera, Joe's just my buddy. I mean, yeah, we had magic. We had lightning in a bottle. Like, when they're like, did you date Joe?
She's like my sister, and then people are like, well, have you hooked up with her? He's like, yes.
Yes, like he cannot give a straight answer where like the producers in his talking head are like, did you date Joe? And she's like, well,
she's like my bro.
We live together, but she's my bro.
Yeah, but
we slept together.
Yeah, her dog's at my house, but it's casual. She's my best friend and I can't live without her, but it's casual. We say I love you to each other, but I don't think I'm sending her mixed signals.
We look into each other's eyes and say, it's never been like this with anything. And we see the stars. And I sing Romeo and Juliet by the Dire Straits to her. But like, it's casual, baby.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, when he literally says like, and yeah, because they decide to kind of take a break from each other because she admits to him like she has feelings for him. And then she's not around for a while. And he's like, yeah, like Joe's not around. It's just, it's kind of like part of my soul is dead. But but it's not serious. I want to be a single guy. I want to be a man about town with my lizards and my plants.
And we were never technically dating. We did have someone perform like a quiet ceremony, and it was really beautiful. And my mom was there, and we all cried. But like, it's not serious.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so sad because I do think like he loves her too, but it's like she is so much like him, and he hates himself.
Yeah, he hates himself and sees her as a liability.
Yep.
And the rest of the cast really hates her, so he's like, I don't know how I could ever get this to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So sadly, this is probably her swan song, but it was glorious while it lasted. And she did get one little lick at him in where she dyes his hair blonde on camera to attract the ladies because
they're going to like a singles night. Yeah. They go to that singles night.
The amount of time she leaves that hydrogen peroxide, that processing in, it somehow comes out yellow, gray, and orange. Like all of it depends on what light it's in. But it's always wrong.
It's giving this is a little abusive. That must have burned. At what point Schwartz is like, how does that not hurt? Like, even when I get highlights, I'll be like after like the 30-minute mark, I'm like, ooh,
ouch. Yeah. And she's like, no, it's good. That means it's working. Tell me again about how you're not
serious
about
coming out of his head. And then they're like, we're aliens with smoke coming out of our head. They literally do that all of the time.
They do that all the time.
And you want to touch my pet lizard?
Yeah. He's got
and
Schwartz is doing a lot of lizard
is not a
and
euphemism.
No, he's the second guy on Bravo with a pet lizard this year. That's crazy. Why are we seeing so many lizards on camera? What is going on?
Wait, who's the other guy? Who's got the
Luke?
Wait,
Luke from
who's
the
got
Valley.
the other lizard?
Luke. He's an iguana.
Luke has a lizard? I missed it.
Kristen eats the iguana food. Oh, by the way,
we
do need to issue.
Luke has a lizard.
Yeah, we do need to issue
a
retraction from our last Valley episode. Even though online, whenever you Google it, it says it's 10 episodes. It actually is 12 episodes. The cast has been saying 12 episodes. I don't know why there's so much misinformation out there. We're so sorry for steering you wrong.
Bravo is really fucking tough with the Valley.
They're really, they're blowing it.
No reunion, sorry.
Yeah, back to Joe and Schwartz. So they go to a singles event, and Joe is just on him like white on rice. She can't stop touching his hair. And like,
he's wearing a hat. He's wearing one of his Schwartzy hats.
And his wingman finally, when she walks away to get them drinks, are like, hey, you know, Sandoval and Kyle Chan are like, she's a clinger. You got to get away from her. Go talk to other girls.
Yeah.
So then Schwartz gives his hat to a very thirsty extra. Is like, can I have your hat?
And like, let's make out with tongue.
And then
I'll
so
pet
Joe
your lizard.
goes over.
Yeah.
Joe comes over and sees it happen, and she goes, "What in tarnation?
What in tarnation?" Yeah, and then that's literally, she's like, "What in tarnation?" She's like, "That's your only hat like this. You gotta get that
"Oh
back."
no." And he's like, "Oh no, actually I have like 30 more hats." And she's like, "Oh, okay, good. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Good. I didn't know. Good."
Oh.
It's so sad. It really makes me feel like, you know, when I was 19 and had hair I dyed myself and a terrible drinking problem, and guys treated me like this.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but like not too long ago you kind of had hair like that.
Okay, well sometimes it takes a few trips to get it, you know.
Yeah, Lauren sent me a picture and I was like, this is a text
that toned out.
I was like, I'm not responding to this text right now.
And then it got better, you know. Sometimes it takes a few trips, you know, with the blondes. Schwartz needed another trip. Anyway, so Joe reveals that they were dating and fucking every night to the producers. And she's like, and now I think we might be breaking up, but I'm confused because he's just saying we never dated.
Yeah.
But anyway, then she gets back, you know, on the lie track with him, so that she won't lose him. And then he's like,
everyone still hates her.
Yeah, she lets him, and then she's like, for some reason at the end at Kyle Chan's San Francisco party at the finale, he forces like Joe and Katie to talk, and then just kind of like stands there, like talk about production oriented. He's like, okay, well, Joe, Katie, you guys, you know, you're both married to me.
Like,
what's up?
Yeah, and Joe's like, it's weird, when you were married, he didn't have any lizards. Did you not let him have lizards? I don't know what they didn't talk about that, but
no, it was more Joe projecting all of her anger and hurt towards Schwartz.
Onto Katie.
And being like, she really pulled like a Vicky Gunvalson, or she was like, okay, well, I apologize that, like, you know, that might have hurt you that I moved in with your ex-husband
and
like
faked
2
cancer.
days after.
I get it, but I'm the That's Vicky.
Yeah. And Vicky's and her Vicky is always like, so I apologize, and then she goes, and now you apologize. That's what Joe did. She's like, and now you do it. It's like, okay, well, it's Katie. She's not gonna do it.
Yeah, Katie's
for what?
Katie's never apologized ever.
She's been so tame on Joe compared to how like vicious we've seen her be in other seasons. Like, Joe is like, she's the reason everyone thinks I'm a crackhead. I'm like, girl, that is not
the reason that everyone thinks that you're a crackhead.
Look to the Instagram lives, my friends.
Yeah, I can't do that. It's like, why is she doing the Instagram lives? Save that. That's gold. Save that for TV.
I know.
That belongs on the big screen.
She's unwell. That brings me to my final question, which we debated a little last night.
Oh my god, I thought you were going to be like, that brings me to Katie being bisexual.
Oh god, no. It is a mental illness, which I suffer from as well. But is it unfair having Joe on camera, like making a child film a TV show, or is it a good addition? Like, if they could bring her back, would that be irresponsible, or maybe it would help
how I
her?
feel about it. You know how I feel.
You want her back.
She was really interesting. Like, her and Schwartz together, like,
I know, it's fascinating. Yeah, I want
I want her to get
I love watching
some
her,
help.
but she needs help. Yeah, so it's like I'm really torn.
Yeah, but here's
and
the
like
thing
she
too.
really,
It's like, okay, everyone on Bravo needs help.
some people
Lindsay
need it
Hubbard's out there.
some people need it. I mean, Lindsay needs help right now too. Some people need it in a bigger Kim Richards. We're reaching Kim Richards levels to me.
Okay, well, let Joe make the chicken salad.
I mean, yeah. It's tough.
It's not our
tough,
call,
tough,
but
tough.
if it was our call, she'd get a call and she'd be on the call list.
Yes. I mean, like, what I will say is this season, Joe served as a much needed Rachel surrogate for all of the women to fly around on their broomsticks and throw rocks at, who also kind of deserves it. And like,
Yes,
and some people are sympathetic to her.
Very
like,
much,
that.
she was a Rachel surrogate that no one wanted to claim having sex with.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
keep
unlike
it in the shadows. Keep it in the shadows, like Sandoval tried doing, and which allegedly Joe did as well, which is why all the girls hate her.
Yep, she 100% knew is the reason that she's like.
I think that Joe is just so like blah 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 blah. Like even if Sandoval and Rachel were having sex right in front of her, I don't even think it would compute.
Register.
Yeah.
See, here's what I think. I think, like, again, it's like me like blaming the producers for this season more than Sheena and Lala. It's like Tom Schwartz, she's so like in love with this guy. Like if he told her to kill someone and be like, and then after that we can be together, I think she would. Well, I don't think she's like
I don't
necessarily
think she'd kill
like
somebody, Lauren.
Capable of. Well, I don't think she can like orchestrate all the planning and stuff. But I mean, I think like she would shave her head if he told her to.
Yeah. She'd shave her head. There's a difference between murder and shaving.
I think she'd cut off a finger if he told her to. If he was like, after this we can date.
Yeah, if he was like, cut off your ring finger so I can never put an engagement ring on it, she'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I think, we're dealing with some real grooming and gaslighting. Grooming because she, I think, is kind of stunted as a teenager.
Well, I thought it's because she's so well groomed.
Oh, of course I did not imply that, because she is not. Okay, so we'll get into Katie.
Yay!
Katie and Tom.
No.
Katie
finally.
is bi, has come out as bi, and she's very beautiful and hot, and has had a major glow up, and is in a very bi-coded way. She has like the perfect Bixie, like Nev Campbell haircut for her face. Very light work done that looks amazing. She's always been, I think, maybe the most naturally beautiful one in the cast. Not that it's a contest, but I just think she's so friggin' pretty now. Like, and her fashion is better. Like, her fashion was always so bad, and now it's like, we still have some misses, but for the most part, it's like she looks sickening, mama.
Yeah, leaving Schwartz did wonders for her.
Yeah,
like on every level.
It's very it was a huge redemption season for Katie, because she was maybe the most hated cast member. Yeah, and we see that like and Schwartz's storyline was always throwing on her under the bus and being like, Katie is the problem. Yeah, and then
Katie,
I think I think we really saw that, Tom is the problem. He's still a problem. He's still treating women horribly. Like, it was nice to peek back behind that curtain. Katie does get her revenge. She fucks Schwartz's best friend, Max, from season 8 of Vanderpump Rules, the really boring guy. And then from, I think he was supposed to be on The Valley. Yeah, but he's just got cut out.
He had no lines, but I saw a picture of him. I have a TikTok about it.
He's so boring. They like only show like
he's boring and just like
shot
awful
of him of Schwartz being like, so Katie, huh? No, they don't even show it. It's just like he like Schwartz reports the conversation he had with his best friend who fucked his ex-wife afterwards on camera. Like, it's like, this is how boring this guy is. Yeah. So we find out because Sheena has had his location since they hooked up on season 8.
Yeah, that was another mind-blowing thing, is that Sheena has everybody's locations and has for like many years, but never made the correlation that like Rachel and Sandoval were in the same place.
That is bizarre.
Where nobody else was with them.
I've always been a little suspect because the specificity when like they're like everyone's gathered around Ariana after it happened, like the widow, and everyone's like, I can't believe he did this, and she goes, it's not like they just were flipping Molly and then had a quick French kiss at Coachella. I was like, that's specific. Like, that's
very
did they maybe
specific,
tell you
Sheena.
what happened? Like, whatever. We'll never know.
Oh
And
yeah.
okay,
Also, another boring thing we find out is Sheena and Schwartz made out. Who knows when, but they did at some point.
nothing ever comes of it, even though Sheena's story is that he, like, forced her into a corner and forced her to do it, which, what the fuck?
Well, that's
But, of
not
course, we never get
great.
into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then Schwartz and Katie have a fake storyline where they're both hooking up with Sheena's nanny. I mean, this was I think this was water party to me. This was lower than the water party. This clearly fake,
competing
love
for the
triangle.
same girl. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I did like is I do think it's like a full circle moment for them where like they always like hate each other so much and made themselves look like shit on camera and had no sexual chemistry.
Yeah.
Now that they're divorced, they work together on these storylines. And like, even though they still hate each other and like they do have chemistry, they have good on screen chemistry. Who knew?
They're great at this.
Yeah. They just should never have been together. So in fact, Schwartz even proposes that Katie sleep with him one last time when they're on a couch trip to San Francisco. No, and I think that was a for cameras thing too. Although I do think he's attracted to her now.
Yeah.
And then
he's definitely attracted to her.
Yeah,
she's not attracted to him at all. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks worse than he ever has.
He looks so bad.
My boyfriend came in and said, "Is that guy on heroin?"
He's your fiance.
And I was like, probably. Oh yeah, fiance. I always forget what he is. Sometimes I say husband. He's something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not serious though.
No. Yeah. Well, it's not really. Okay. Sidebar: Lauren was debating having her wedding at her house, and look,
Michelle said I'm not allowed to.
It's not it's not father of the bride house. Okay, it's a beautiful house, but like,
drag me. No, I mean, well,
you're not.
it's like
I'm not going to that wedding if it's at the house.
Okay. Well, it's going to be at a disc golf course instead. Much more highfalutin.
Thank you.
Okay. So then, yep. So then Schwartz proposes, when Katie turns down his proposal, Schwartz proposes to Sandoval that they move in together and be sad guys together. Now, this is a plot line I think has a lot of potential next season of these flops flopping in the sad guy house. That's right.
Yeah, Lauren. Yeah, them being roommates has a lot of legs.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I wish it was just them being like single losers, but they both got their like, it is pathetic. They got hot like 28-year-old girlfriends who are using them for clout. Like
lizards running through a mansion in the valley.
No assistant to clean stuff up because Tom Sandoval hired a male assistant, so he doesn't ask him to do degrading stuff. Like, it'll be a pig pen.
Yeah.
I think that'll be, I'm trying to look at bright spots.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. Okay. And then finally, what time are we at?
Let's get
48, 46.
done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
you want to touch on Brock?
Let's just talk about Sheena. Yeah, Sheena. I think okay, so we're not going to go too much into Lala. I think enough. Just go online and Google her name on any website where there's discussions.
But we're not going to give them. We're not going to give them Lala today.
No, I'm just tired of seeing it and hearing about it. Let's talk about Sheena and Brock. So Sheena and Brock are in a bad place.
They're so happy.
She has postpartum obsessive compulsive disorder that was
brought
worsened
on by
Scandival
because now I'm having nightmares that Brock is gonna sleep with Lala because of what you did.
Yes, and she also doesn't trust any nannies but her mom. And Brock and Sheena fight a lot about her mom in public, even though her mom is like was the one who was like waking up for like a lot of the night feedings.
Yeah, she was doing like the night feeding. Like, I'm sorry, that's like an amazing thing to do. Those night feedings are fucking brutal. And so what? Number one, that's like that's Summer Moon's grandmother. Like, it's probably best that if she's wanting to watch their kid, that's probably the best case scenario. It's family and it's free, and you're gonna trust that person to watch your kid over everybody else. Like, Ruby's never had another babysitter that are not her grandparents.
Yeah, I mean, like, also it's like, like good nannies, especially in LA, are expensive, and like you've got child support bills to pay and no job, sweetie. What I do think is like apparently he thinks that her mom kind of makes her OCD worse, and apparently Sheena's mom texts her like stuff people are saying about her online. Isn't that
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
crazy?
that's not
I think he
good.
does have a point there. That's that's some Mama Rose
I know, but
stuff.
do you think that Sheena's asking her to do that, though?
Yes, I think
Because
probably.
Sheena
Yeah.
probably wants that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
just Brock
jury
is just
says
like
Brock sucks.
yeah, he sucks. Like there was one scene that really upset me where it was like they were all at James's that night. I think I maybe it was the night everything happened. I don't know. They've been at James's a lot. The water party was there. It's a blur. But Brock
Mhm.
is the only one in the pool, and then Sheena's like, I want to go home now.
Mhm.
Because she wanted to read to her daughter. She
Yeah.
was like, I don't,
Yeah,
cause
just do good night.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
I too would be like, I don't want to miss out on these moments I have. Like, I mean, there's been
Mhm.
nights that, my mom will put Ruby to bed and stuff. Jason. Anyway, besides the point, it is completely understandable when your child is still like young that you want to have those moments as long as you can with them, where you read to them and with the
Mhm.
baby.
And
He
I also
shouldn't have
think
yelled
it's
at her about that in front of
yeah, but
everybody.
I agree. And I think it was just a bad hang and she wanted to go.
It
It's like,
was
dude, you're in
boring.
season 11 of Vanderpump Rules. You want to stay there? You want to stay longer than you contractually have to?
Yeah,
What are you
go
doing? Like,
home.
go home if you can.
Yeah,
God,
it
please.
sucks.
Like,
Yeah, go read a Halloween book to your kid. It's way more interesting than whatever the fuck is happening over here. Planes flying
yeah.
over James's house.
Yeah. Um, Sandoval, had, like, early in the season cried to Lisa Vanderpump about how he's
Yeah.
suicidal, and
Mhm.
so Lisa instantly forgives him because of her brother,
Mhm.
and then, Lisa goes to Sheena and Lala and,
Just like
really
take it easy. Yeah.
puts the screws to Sheena to, pressure her to forgive him because of the producers,
Hmm.
and that's how this becomes the central story of the
The
season.
central, yeah, and somehow and through all of this also plugs her new restaurant, which doesn't involve any of them, but is like
And still
it's
isn't
in
open in, like,
Tahoe,
Tahoe.
but she's like, take a trip to
Yeah.
Tahoe and get
Now
everybody
the
on your
trip to
side.
the trip to Tahoe, I did think was great. It has a really compelling start. So it's like everyone's forced to come and they are like,
Except Katie
in the
and
restaurant.
Ariana, they do not show
Yeah.
up.
Because they've got something about her duties and also because they don't want to.
They don't want to.
And actually, no one wants to.
Yeah.
And so they're like sledgehammering the walls and they'll each say something they're mad about. And Sheena, is like,
Mhm.
postpartum OCD or
I
whatever.
wasn't on
And
Dancing
then
with the Stars.
yes, and then Sandoval is, like, going crazy like a madman and repeating everything that they said to him at the reunion and everything that they said in the press about him. He's
Yeah.
like, "Worm with a mustache, shenanigans, the podcast," and it's just so bizarre, and he thinks he's being, he thinks he's Taxi Driver
Yeah,
right
and that
now.
he's like giving a
It's
great
like
performance and he's like, and this is gonna come off like so cathartic on screen. And it's like, no, it's giving
everyone's like, "What the
it's giving
fuck?"
American Psycho.
Yes, it's bizarre, and then they all sit down at, like, lunch, and it was, like, Sandoval's birthday recently, so Lisa's like, "Why don't we all say something we like about Sandoval?" And James goes, no,
You
can we
just-
eat? We're gonna eat." I
yeah.
just love it, she's like, "Fuck no,
Yeah.
bitch." And that's why Lisa has to go. That might have worked in season 7, but it does not work now.
It's not working now that she's on the show. And there is an episode where Jack shows up and he's hosting a brunch with James Kennedy at Sir, and Lisa is like, I had no idea you'd be here hosting a brunch at my restaurant, and you've been in the press saying I'm irrelevant. They actually break the fourth wall with that. Number one,
Yeah,
how
I
does
like
she fucking not know Jax is hosting a brunch at her restaurant? Number two,
she's so committed to the kayfabe, dude. She's, like,
yeah,
really believes that
she
anything she says about her restaurants, we
yeah, and
believe.
she brings up to Jax, like, you said that I was irrelevant on the show, like I'm not needed anymore, and he's like, I said that?
I said
I
that?
said that?
What?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I wish we'd had more moments like that. Like that's I think what the whole
Well,
show is going to be next
Jax was
season,
not
but we'll get into it.
Jax was not wrong, and this is how boring the show is. Like they have to bring him in for a random brunch and let him do scenes, even though he was fired from the show. But he is
Yeah.
right that Lisa has no business being on the show because nobody's working. I mean, I don't even know if the Toms are involved in any capacity at Tom Tom at this point. It doesn't make any
No,
sense.
I mean they didn't even know that like all the pump stuff had moved into like whatever.
Yeah.
So after they have the weird dinner, this was like my favorite part. So the next day, as a gift to everyone, Sandoval wakes up like at 6 a.m. to journal, and he brings in a meditation teacher who is actually like,
yeah.
I
This
think,
is in
a
Tahoe.
Nexium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's like a Nexium cult member. Like, she's running
Your
like these weird,
favorite.
like,
Lauren
I love it.
loves these Nexium gals.
It's really giving me like the Nexium exercises where she like, so it's like Sheena, James, Lala, and Sandoval, and then Brock is golfing, but he was supposed to be back in time for this. And the meditation instructor is like, now partner up. And Brock comes in and he three-way partners with Lala and like James or something. And so that Sandoval and Sheena are forced to go back to back and do breathing exercises. And the teacher is like, now I want you to take a deep breath in. Now I want you to look in each other's eyes and hold each other's hands. Just say what you feel. And if you hate someone because they tried to get you sued by their ex-girlfriend for assault charges, and I just want you to let that go and push that down deep into your soul.
God.
Sheena is like weeping.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucked up. And finally she can't take it anymore and she runs away. She's like, I'm not ready to let go of how much I hate him.
Yeah.
And then she calls Ariana to report this back, which is bizarre too. Ariana's like, okay, like, why are you telling me this? But she's basically being like, they're really putting the screws to me to like forgive Sandoval. Do I have permission?
Yeah.
And Ariana's like,
no.
I would prefer it if you didn't.
Yeah, because again, this only happened a few months ago. All of this
and
stuff.
Like I will say they have always had a pretty strong alliance on the show.
Sheena and Ariana, yes.
But I think it's mostly due to like Ariana's loyalty more than Sheena's.
Well, Sheena just wants somebody to like her.
Yes, and everyone.
And
like
Sheena's like, you like me, you really like me. Right now, that's Sally Fields.
Sally Field. That's the Oscar speech she gave when she won for Mrs. Doubtfire, or it should have been.
She should have won for that.
Anyway, so then later that trip, Sheena finds out through the press that Ariana got Dancing with the Stars, and has my favorite scene, I think, of the season, where she's just like, she knew I wanted it. She knew I'd been talking about it weeks ago.
Yeah, she's like in bed crying, like. She knows that it's always been my dream to be on Dancing with the Stars. Ariana knows that.
Yes. I mean, if there's one thing I think of when I think Sheena Shea, I think
Dancing with the Stars.
She loves Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, and she's like, and she knows I've been practicing.
It's like, what?
What?
Just in case? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Been practicing ballroom dancing to modern day hits. Okay.
In elaborate costumes with a dance professional? Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
She knows that.
Yeah.
For everything I've done for her with Sandoval, she goes on Dancing with the Stars and doesn't say anything to me.
Yeah, she used to be like, with everything I've done for her, it's like, you mean punch Rachel in the face?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. She didn't ask you to do that.
She didn't,
like, I didn't help her.
No.
Like, if anything, it pissed Rachel off more and she got litigious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then after that, Lala screams at Sandoval on a hellboat. Then no, that was before that. And it's just that's kind of the rest of the season is like, Lala getting mad.
Yeah, they're in San Francisco on the end. Somebody gets too close to the girls, and then there's like a fight. Someone tries to hit Sandoval.
Yeah. But that's in the unedited version. Yeah, so the rest of the season is just a lot of like Lala, saying saying to behind Ariana's back, she needs to forgive him. She needs to give up the house.
But she never did that with Randall.
No, she didn't, because she's jealous. It's like, and I wish that's what the season could have been. It's like, she's clearly so jealous where she considers herself a victim, and she wants to get that sympathy. And then Sheena, she admitted on camera she was jealous of Dancing with the Stars. I wish they could have just, instead of being like, why doesn't Ariana let Tom, keep the house and give in to a supervillain? They could have been like, I'm jealous of her and she's going to ruin the show.
Yeah.
But finally, at the very end, after some shenanigans with like a drunk extra that I'm pretty sure Sandoval staged to look like a good guy, then we see
hit me. Yeah.
We see the grand finale of the episode that we've seen, or like the season that we've seen. We finally get the catharsis of Sheena forgiving Sandoval because he paid for a sound guy to do her sound check for her performance. And that's the big moment we were all waiting for and expecting, folks. And then Sheena goes to Ariana and is like, "Do you hate me now? And will you know?" And Ariana's like, "No, it's fine. I love you." And it's like, and that's the end, but not quite. So Sandoval has decided, I'm also going to apologize to Ariana on camera. That's really the big ending the producers want too.
No, don't do it. Yeah.
And so he's like chasing her down, and she says no. We see her talking
Fuck
to her
this.
producer.
Yeah, she's her new boyfriend. Yeah, her new boyfriend's there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and Tom like shakes his hand and stuff. Tom's such a piece of shit. He's like, "Well, I had to, man." It's like, "No, you didn't."
Yeah. And then he's even like, "Ariana has great taste in guys."
Ugh, he's just the worst. Like, he's just so confident that he's done it. He's won them back. Like, and the people are on his side. And so he's so frustrated that this didn't go.
She's not giving him the one thing that he wants, which is the forgiveness that he thinks will get him
on camera. Yeah. That will make people lay off. And so he freaks out. He's like, he like this. She fucking doesn't like any of you guys. She shouldn't even be on the show. Yeah. She's such a fucking lazy piece of shit. And just ranting at her. And then we cut to Ariana talking to a producer, being like, "Look, he slept with other people without protection, and then didn't tell me. That's not informed consent." Yeah. And then it's interesting to me they chose those words, but I'll like to use like that, to use that part of her talking to the producer, because it goes on for quite a while. But I'll get back to it later. So then we see Ariana walking out with all of her friends. She's going to Applebee's, and the rest of the cast knew this was going to happen, and they're all like, Sheena's like, "What?" Like Brock, they're like, "Oh my gosh, they can't believe it didn't happen." And Lala is like, "Okay, fuck it, I'm gonna break the fourth wall." Yeah. I've never seen someone, and just goes finally on like the jealous rampage she's been actually wanting to go on.
She
like,
gets cheated on and becomes God. Yeah.
And it's like, and then we cut to a slightly derivative of The Hills ending, where it's first, also, the editors, what I really like also is they let Ariana explain exactly what is happening on camera, which is why I don't think she necessarily got a bad edit. We really see her side, which is the truth, which is Sandoval, he's not mad like because, I'm not forgiving him. He's mad because I'm the final boss in his redemption. Yeah. And she's defeated everyone, Sheena, she's forgiven, Lala, she's the last one. Yeah. Like in a video game, which is a great way. It's a great way to explain reality TV storylines to a viewer, And so he's so frustrated that he's not getting it, and he could have apologized to me at any time. Yeah. He could have talked to me off camera. He could have slid me a note. We live in the same fucking house. He's doing it for the cameras, and the cameras show us, he is. And then we cut to Lala's perspective, where she's like, I've been on the show a long time. I didn't show a lot of my life. At one point, that was wrong. That's not what you're supposed to do on this show. But Tom and Ariana, they weren't being honest about their relationship for a long time. Yeah. And this is kind of what I think they're trying to hint at. This is my theory without saying it, is I do think that Tom cheated on Ariana. I do think it would be hard for her not to have been aware of, obviously she knew about Miami Girl. Knew about there were Miami so many stories coming out.
Yeah, I think she knew about past cheating. Obviously, this one embarrassed.
She did not know about Rachel. I mean,
she didn't know about Rachel. No, but I think this was the one that really hurt because it was her really close friend, and it was embarrassing for her. She was gone. Her grandma's funeral. She was very. Why didn't he go to the funeral? I would be livid if my husband,
the way he betrayed her.
Yeah, if my mom died and my husband's like, "I'm not going to the funeral," and then he's fucking a really good friend of mine. Yeah, I'm never gonna forgive you for that. I will never forgive you for that. That's reality.
And the way he had planned so calculatedly to make a fool of her and make her look like a lazy bitch, so it always puts me down. Just what he continues to do it.
And it's not just what he did to Ariana; it's what he did to Rachel. It's what he did to Schwartz.
Yes,
it's what he did to everyone.
Shit. Yeah.
But yes, did Ariana kind of ruin the season by not filming with him? Sure. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it would have made it better.
I don't think it would have made it a better season. There's plenty of seasons where Melissa and Teresa on Jersey do not film, including this one, and it's still great TV.
Yeah, I mean, it's because that's not really what I'm tuning in to see. I'm kind of tuning in not to see a resolution where they can move forward. That's not gonna happen. I don't care if she knew that he cheated on her before or not. What he did, it
Yeah.
doesn't make it any. I think the reason
Yeah.
it's not coming out is it just makes both of them look worse, but it doesn't change anything, you know?
Yeah.
And like I don't want to see her forgive him. I want to see everyone be
No,
mean to him. Like
I want
that's
to
what
see,
I
but
wanted to
that's the
see.
problem is nobody was wanting to be mean to him. Like I think they were just like all over it and they were like, we're on a show.
No, I think the
We
producers.
still have to
No, I did you see?
film.
No, did you see how he attacked everyone who was forced to apologize to him at that party that you were
No,
talking
he
about?
did.
He
I'm just
attacked
saying,
Sheena,
yes, I'm saying, but they still were like, we're still going to film with you. And we're not just going to
but
scream
they
at
were
you all.
always going to film with him.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
they
they
had
all had
to.
to find a
They
way to
had
move
to.
forward
And
with
it
him.
was giving Sheena nightmares because she
Yeah,
had nightmares of Brock fucking Lala, which is not because of Scandal.
I
That's not
picture.
Sandoval's problem. That's a
No,
more of a Sheena Brock problem.
but like we even like the reason that they didn't achieve that resolution, it was because of Sandoval. It was because every time that like Sheena was like, okay, I want to forgive you, but just like that was a lot, and he's like, well, you fucked Eddie, you kid me, you're doing the exact
Yeah,
same thing as me.
she's
And it's
like,
just
and
like
then
I
she
want to.
freaks out on him. She's right about that. She was 21 years old.
It's
And
crazy to
it
compare every
wasn't,
time
and
like
Eddie Cibrian was not her friend. Like, she it wasn't like her friend, like her friend's husband.
no, it's completely
It's
different. And
so
every time, like
different.
when James comes to him to apologize, he said, "Well, you fucked Kristen 10 years ago when we just broken up, and we were
Yeah. He's
friends,
talking about
and you used my
Christian.
talent." It's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
You're fucking insane. And it's like you can actually, it's like this person will never be their friend again because he's a
He's just
lunatic.
gotta
Like he's
let it
lost
go.
his mind,
He did the
and he
thing.
can't.
He's gotta let it go. I mean, part of what's happening too, which we haven't really touched on this whole season, is that Tom is still very much in love, whatever his version of love is with Rachel, and she's at this
I don't
point.
believe that.
She's
No,
not even
that's what he
speaking.
said on camera.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah,
also
it's like
not.
that was his
But
storyline.
she is also
Yeah.
not speaking to him. So it's like, at
Yes.
least, like, okay, if she's still talking to me, then maybe this was for something because
Well,
at least I
and
still
not
have
and not it's
her, and he
but it's not
doesn't.
for love. It's maybe then I can come out and be
Yeah,
redeemable.
and
Like
now,
even
and she's
Spidey,
not
we
even giving
respect them
him.
now.
Yeah,
Like they're
like
still
now
together.
now he can't control Ariana. He can't control Rachel. He
Only
can't. Yeah,
Schwartz.
he can't control the filming.
He has to bring Billy Lee in
Billy
out for the
Lee.
ghost of Billy Lee.
Yeah,
Like
and she shows up to like cold plunges with him where he looks like he's getting baptized. It's like, this is terrible television.
but I think the producers are the most to blame, and he's the second most to blame because he did not make it believable. He did not find a path forward. The path forward was given to him in production and editing. He needed to if he just could humble himself, or if they could have all been horrible to him all season, that would have given him the redemption he needed. But he couldn't do it because he cannot think of himself as anything other than like the lovable, great guy Tom.
Yeah.
He can't do it, and he never will. Like
Yeah.
his days are numbered on reality TV.
Woo! And now we said
Oh,
it.
and now we said it. So I would say, but yeah, moving forward, the editor's push to have those last 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
After Lala, we see, like shots of them all sitting down, getting mic'd up for their first time at the confessionals. They used Katie's orange hair season. They did her dirty with that one,
Yeah.
but it's very like emotional,
Yeah.
and the producers really didn't want that, but the editors were like, trust us, leave it in. And now, because of the response, because of how much we all loved it, that finally they're acknowledging what's
The
really
fourth
going
wall,
on.
yeah.
They will break the fourth wall next season because that's the only
It's the
way
only
that
path
broke the
forward,
show this
yeah.
season.
But
Yeah, to not acknowledge it as much, like to barely acknowledge
yeah,
it.
and I think it's definitely this was Ariana's last season. She doesn't need the show anymore.
I hope so.
She's already back on Chicago. She just bought another house.
Yeah. I mean, I could see her
and
continuing to
she's
do
hosting
it.
that Love is Blind. Like, I don't think
Love
she
I-
need
Love Island.
Love
Yeah.
Island, sorry. She doesn't need the show anymore, and she's
I
miserable
don't
on
think so
it.
either. Yeah, I really hope, I think that, if her team tells her to do it to give something about her more publicity, and so,
I
her
don't
fans,
think, yeah,
have another way to
think
be
she'll
reminded
figure
of
out.
her.
Yeah, she doesn't want to
I
because
think she's above it, and it's not good for her.
she doesn't, and she's not adding anything to the show.
She doesn't. It's and like she, other than like ratings, and it's good
Well,
exposure
yeah,
for her, but
but I think it's time to
she just
go
shouldn't be
away.
around these toxic people, and I mostly mean the
Yeah,
producers who
because
tried to cut
make
her
her
down
do
and
yeah,
destroy her new success so that she could stay on the show.
give her like
And
a
that
villain
that is the
edit,
biggest
but it
betrayal.
didn't even
Like,
work.
yeah, I mean, I just think she should be
Yeah,
done because, like, we all know producers are slime bags, but it's like that is next level for them to try to
yeah,
begrudge you getting out of the cesspool that is reality
yeah.
TV and force you to stay in it forever. Like, they're pieces of shit. Love the
Mhm.
editors though. Okay, so the theme of the season, I would say,
Alex
in the words of
Baskin,
RuPaul,
be on our
yeah,
show. Sorry.
be on our show. We'd love to have you. I really would. He's like, could be nice to anyone. Like, I love reality TV villains, but Alex Baskin, the producer of Beverly Hills and this show and the new seasons of OC, I would destroy him. I don't think I could,
Lauren
be
Lauren
polite.
is
He's my
activated.
enemy.
Yeah. You're
I'm
activated. You're
activated.
activated.
Yeah. I will meet you in the octagon, Alex Baskin, if you accept my invitation. Okay, anyway, so the theme is, in the words of RuPaul, nothing you say matters unless those cameras are running.
True. True words have never
Drag
been
Race fans.
spoken.
Well, no, she said that to Pearl. Homage. The season had an homage, a nod to the last episode of The Hills, where we break the fourth wall. We see them on a TV
Hollywood
set as Kristen
backdrop.
drives away.
Oh, wait.
Hollywood backdrop. Yeah, no, you're right.
That was The Hills,
and
yeah.
then
Motifs.
and then motifs. Yes. So the motifs I would say are, sorry, I got off. Jason, cut this part. Okay. Motifs are people lying about their relationships on camera. It's happening a lot. We got production as the 9th cast member. I think that if Lisa was going to be used at all, or if she's used at all moving forward, I think she needs to be giving direct orders to cast members from production. I don't think she's making those calls anymore, but she could be the surrogate.
I don't think that she needs to be there anymore.
I'm saying if she has to be, I want her either as little as possible, or I want her in, like, I actually think this season would have been better if she had sat down and instead of just being like, let's all say something nice about Sandoval, given the actual talk where it's like the whole cast, the camera, everything, and being like, you guys have to be friends.
Yeah, and
that's the show. I'm your boss. That's the show. I would have loved to have seen that.
And there's no reason for people just to be showing up at her house in Beverly Hills. It's so far away from the valley where they all live. Doesn't make any sense.
No, it's bizarre. And like, if she could get off her high horse and like not always have to be like,
I have to be on camera
and your lovable nana.
Yeah.
Like, then I think she could be the boss bitch who's like, fuck you. But of course we would hate her because we hate production.
Yeah. I'd rather see Hanky and Panky, her swans, giving these people life advice.
I hope they're still alive. So yeah, motifs breaking the fourth wall, but not enough. A lot of half measures in the season, and choosing sides with the motif. Let's talk about awards nominations. Emmys haven't happened yet, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say none. This season sucked.
Yes.
We've got symbolism. We've got obviously Anne as a surrogate for Tom and Ariana interacting. We've got Sandoval as a surrogate for production. We learn at the end this season wasn't, are you team Tom or are you team Ariana? This is team. It was like, everyone knows the season sucks. Yeah. So do you blame Ariana or do you blame production? Yeah. And I think we all know what team we're on. And then Kyle and Chan and Billy Lee were
we blame
surrogates.
Ariana. Oh wait, no.
No. No, because it's like, man, she stood up to the man. I'm never gonna not think that's punk rock.
Yeah, it's great, but but now it's time to go.
It's time.
You won't top it. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, Kyle, Chan, and Billy Lee were symbolism for everyone hates Sandoval. He has no friends. Okay, what grade do you give it?
Ugh. D.
Yeah, I would say D plus.
For dumb.
Grade. Probably the worst grade the season has gotten so far. And that's a wrap. Please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bravo_breakdowns. Email us your thoughts. Did we really make you mad? Tell us, don't dox us, or, tell us in a nice way. BravoBreakdowns@gmail.com. Or if you're interested in being on the show, know someone who wants to be on the show, wants to give an oral exam, we would love to hear from you guys. And also, if you heard our beloved Countess Luann at the beginning of the episode, played by a really brilliant and beautiful and hilarious comedian named Bonnie Crisp. And her Instagram is at Bon, CRISSSPY. So it's crispy with 3 S's. Follow her. She's got really good. She does a lot of characters and like wild costume
She's
and
so
makeup, and there's
great.
just a lot more where that came from.
Yeah.
Follow her.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, we've reached the end, which means it's time for our final exams. I
Mm.
almost dropped my little martini.
I know. It sounds like a friggin' earthquake over there. I don't even remember.
I know, it was right by my
okay.
mic.
I'm ready. I got something.
You're ready?
Okay. Off the dome. Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know how good it's going to be, but
Michelle
we'll
is
give
going
it a
to
go.
give a 60-second essay on a pop culture topic of her choice, and your time starts now.
In this essay, I will prove that sometimes being best friends with Lauren and podcast partners is really fucking rough and hard. And when things that are something happened today that was huge for our podcast, huge for the world that we cannot announce yet. And whenever I need to tell Lauren something that huge and groundbreaking and earth shattering, and I tell her emergency, 911, red alert. Silence, baby. The last time this happened was during Scandal. Yes, she was on her father-in-law's funeral. R.A.P. He was a beautiful man. But I needed her to respond in that moment because you'll never get that moment back, Lauren.
It's true. It's true.
That's my time. I have nothing else to say.
Drag me. I love it. I love anything that's critical of me. I will give it an A+, because that's how I feel about myself all the time.
Where were
for the record,
you?
though, it did take me, I believe, 7 minutes to text Michelle back. So.
No, I called you twice.
I didn't see. My phone sometimes eats the calls. Sometimes
no, it's because you have an Android and it's tearing our relationship apart.
Okay. Well, I can't go
you
back to
and your
iPhone.
droid.
It took so long.
Isn't a
to
droid like a thing in Star Wars? That's why I really hate it. They're like the little droids in the sky. Is that what it is?
Not familiar. Oh, Clone Wars. No, I don't know.
What are droids? Aren't droids a thing?
My fiance and his son are probably watching it right now.
They're watching those droids, and those droids are tearing apart our friendship.
Fair. Okay. So this is my pop culture essay. My rebuttal. I've got 60 seconds on the clock, and my time starts now. In this essay, I will prove. Actually, I was going to do one on the challenge, but I feel like I need to address this. I need to address what's just happened. I won't be a producer on Vanderpump Rules. I'm going to directly address what's really happening in Breaking Fourth Wall. In this essay, I will prove that I was forced at gunpoint, not at gunpoint, but metaphorically, and manipulated, much like Joe was with Tom Schwartz, to get an Android by my fiance, and that is a form of abuse. I had an iPhone. Things were going great. Things were going great. Nothing wrong. I was on my family's plan. I just pay them, like the $40 a month. Everything was gravy. And then my boyfriend, who hates Apple, has an agenda, is a big Droid user. Is like, you gotta get a Droid. Babe, it's gonna be so much cheaper. Oh my gosh, you're gonna save so much money. And I was like, I have a feeling I'm not. And he was like, no, you really are. And the camera's so much better. And I'm like, okay, well, I do need a better camera for self-tapes. The amount of time it took to switch over, I was without a phone for 10 days, on the phone with every Apple, Google person you could ever meet. Finally, I got switched over, so now I can never switch back. And guess what? It is kind of annoying. Time.
I give that an A+ because you've never admitted it to me why you switched to the Clone Wars.
It's true. But there's no going back. I'm a clone now, baby.
What are they called in Star Wars? The bad people?
Sith Lord?
Oh, God. The white, they're in white and they're like in armor. Stormtroopers.
I'm a stormtrooper.
You're a stormtrooper and I'm a Princess Leia.
You are. You're a queen.
And I'm flying high on trucks. We miss you, Carrie Fisher.
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher.
Oh my God, just go back to getting an iPhone.
I can't. Like I said, I can't. I literally
can't.
I'll never go through that
big
again.
People coming on our podcast where you'd be rolling around with a droid.
No, I'm sorry. They'll have to see the green tags.
Do you know how embarrassing?
I would rather cut off my ring finger.
Yeah, because when we're in a group text with a famous person, they don't know if it's me or Lauren that's causing the green.
Well, we email mostly. I mean, text online. Text, like, what are we? 37-year-olds?
We've texted, okay, well, I guess Christian, and he's our friend, and he knows that you don't play by the rules.
He knows the truth about me.
Yeah.
All right, so that's been our coverage. Thanks again to Bonnie Chris. We love you guys so much. Next week, tune in for our coverage of this season so far of Summer House. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, did it upload? No, it's thinking. And did